This video is brought to you by Against the Flow of Mississippi. Against the Flow of Mississippi is a book about Jake Fayard, a Marine veteran who is unhappy with the political machine running the state of Mississippi. He decides to fight the corruption from the inside. Jake will face more challenges than he ever has and will stand up for what he thinks is right. His notoriously hot temper will push him to the edge of murder, along with his friend and brother Kobe Barhanovich. Together, they will fight the system and give the power back to the citizens of Mississippi. Against the Flow of Mississippi is now available on Amazon. A link to the book will be placed in the description below.
Count time on the compound. All inmates return to bunks. Beyond the Count, Life on the Compound. Brought to you by former Sergeant Allen of the Florida Department of Corrections. On this YouTube channel, I will explain to you the ins and outs and the do's and don'ts of a prison. Hope y'all enjoy. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. And if you are a brother or sister correctional officer, y'all remember, be safe and we never walk alone.
Alright, y'all, in my last video, I started to get on who shouldn't be in corrections. And when I started to say something about who should be in corrections, one of the things I said was the guy who was bullied in high school and now wants the opportunity to be a bully. The guy who wants to just be an asshole. Being an asshole is not necessarily a bad thing, but it's not necessarily a good thing either. When you're in a dorm, is it better to be feared or respected? Are they afraid that you're going to beat the shit out of them? Are they afraid that you're going to use this? Or do they just not want to cross you because they know you mean business and they know that you will write them up? You will send them to confinement. You will take privileges away. You will enforce the institutional rules. I've seen, I had an officer I worked with down in Florida. I'm not going to call his name. I don't even know if he's still with the state of Florida. I kind of hope he's not. But this guy, putting it mildly, he should not have been in corrections. He did not have the temperament for the job. The temperament of the job is described as firm, fair, and consistent. Some of y'all can join a department at 18 years old. Florida just lowered the age requirement. At 18, you can work. Mississippi, I think you got to be 19. Louisiana's 18. I think Alabama's 19. I could be wrong on that. I'm not sure what the other requirements. I think Tennessee, you can be 19 as well. Actually, I think Tennessee can be 18 now. Does an 18-year-old really have the capability, the mental capacity to tell people old enough to be his grandpa what to do in prison, in a correction setting? Guys have been down longer than he's been alive. Well, the answer is maybe. How was this 18-year-old raised? Does he fully understand what he's walking into? I know a lot of my friends that have started this career at 19 years old. They're in their 30s now and they're lieutenants and captains. Um, some of them higher than that. Some of them are wardens. But they started this at a young age and they earned their respect. That takes a lot for a grown ass man, especially a convict, to respect an 18-year-old correctional officer. It takes a lot for a free world grown ass man to respect an 18-year-old. I'm a free world person. I'm not going to take any shit off an 18-year-old kid. I'm 37 years old. Now add the stress of being incarcerated. I have all the respect in the world for young folks coming into law enforcement, and every time I see one, I tell them, "You're 19 years old. You're 18. You're 20. You're 21 years old. You're coming into this. I wish I'd started it when I was that age. I'd have had a good retirement by now. I'd have had a very good retirement by now. I could have been sitting back running the compound again. If I would have started at, say, I would have started at 19, I would have had almost 20 years in this by now. Missed opportunity. I was doing other things when I was young. But in doing those other things, my life took a different turn. I got to do things that most people have not been able to do. I can say I've done things that other people haven't, but those are my choices. But I always tell them, yeah, you're smarter than me because I should have done it. And I should have. So 18-year-olds, yeah, they can do the job if they got the right demeanor. I would rather an 18-year-old with the right demeanor come in here than a 30-year-old who was picked on in high school, got bullied, lost his girlfriend to people, and now he's pissed off and, somehow found himself without a job and saw a billboard on the side of the highway saying, "Hey, we hiring anybody, no experience required. We'll train you." You know what? I'm gonna be a correctional officer. I could walk in that dorm, I could slam people up against the wall, and I could be an asshole, and man, I could just, a convict get on my ass, I'll go beat the shit out of them. Okay, go ahead, Billy Badass. Go right ahead. Let me tell you what's going to happen. This is a guy that's probably never been around very many current and former inmates. And what's going to happen is he's going to walk in there. He's going to go through training, strutting his shit with his chest all puffed out, like, look at me. And then they're going to put him on the compound. And when they put him on the compound, one or two things is going to happen. One, he's going to go in there selling whoop tickets. You don't know what whoop tickets are. It means you let your jaybird mouth. It means you let your alligator mouth overload your jaybird ass. That's what that means. I'll beat your ass. Really? Okay. This guy's doing 1,000 push-ups a day. He's doing 1,000 sit-ups a day. He's got nothing to do but sit in his housing unit and listen to this asshole sit there and sell whoop tickets all day for 8 or 12 hour shift. Eventually, that convict's gonna get enough of it. And I'm not saying convicts are to be feared, because I don't fear anybody that shits behind a pair of shoes. I never have. But what's gonna happen is this convict's gonna get enough of it, and he's gonna go, okay, you want to sell that whoop ticket? I'm cashing it for you. And the dude's gonna get his ass whipped. Or maybe not. Maybe he won't get his ass whipped. But he'll use force against policy, or he'll get so pissed off, because inmates are good at pissing you off. You're on shift for 12 hours and you go home, you probably ain't thinking about them. They're thinking about you. Man, you know what? This guy's really an asshole. I want his job. They'll push you. And then they will pin you up in a bad use of force. And you just went from a free world person with a career ahead of you in corrections to now you're being charged with battery, aggravated battery under the color of law. We are law enforcement. It's no different than if I tell a cop to go fuck himself and he just whips my ass. Is that a good use of force? If I tell a cop pulls me over, he walks up, he says, let me see your license and registration, proof of insurance. And I look at him and I say, fuck you. And he pulls me out of the car and he beats my ass. Is that a good use of force? No, it's not. That's police brutality. That is excessive and unnecessary force. I didn't strike him. I didn't resist him. I just said, fuck you. Do words hurt? No, they're words. But let's just say the officer yanks my door open, pulls me out of my Cadillac, and whoops my ass. Now, he can arrest me and take me to jail for disorderly conduct. That's not a use of force. But if he just beats my ass, that's unnecessary and excessive force. Now I'm laid up in the hospital, fucked up, just got my ass whooped, and this cop, I'm fixing to charge him with battery or assault, depending on the state. Mississippi, it's assault. Florida, it's battery. I'm fixing to charge. I'm fixing to get this guy. He's going to jail. Well, it works the same way in corrections. If I tell an inmate, Then I'm fixing to. I tell him, hey man, grab that wall right there. I'm gonna pat search you real quick. Fuck you, Sarge. I ain't grabbing shit. And I just unload on the guy, and I beat the guy to a bloody pulp. And that inmate is laid up in front of me in a crumpled heap. Was it necessary that I do that? No. It wasn't necessary that I do that. What's going to happen to me? I'm going to have IG up my ass, and the IG is going to look at me and go, hey, dumbass, I can't help you. You put your hands on this inmate for no reason. And by the way, folks, there are cameras in corrections, there are cameras everywhere now, even audio. There's audio and video everywhere. So if you can't handle somebody pushing your buttons, or you think you want to just sell whoop tickets and act stupid, you're going to lose, and the inmate is going to win. Not only is he going to sue your department, which takes away from your raises and your uniform allowance and repairs and equipment that you may need to do the job that the department needs to buy. Let's face it, corrections is a money pit. You just gave your freedom up because you're going to jail. You may even wind up in prison. And I'm going to tell you right now, if I run into a former CO in prison, I show him no favors. You're not my brother. You never were. Because when I see a CO locked up, the first thing that comes to my mind is, not granted, it's none of my business why inmates are in jail. But let's just say that I find out that this guy is a CO. What comes to my mind is he was probably a dirty officer, and he put real COs at risk. Think I'm going to show that guy any favors? No. You think I'm going to show him any favoritism? Well, I don't show favoritism, period. Convict's a convict. I don't care what you've done. You're a convicted felon. You're in prison or in a county jail or parish prison setting. You're waiting to see if you're fixing to be convicted of a crime. I'm not showing you any favoritism. I'm going to treat you just like everybody else. I'm going to treat you the same way I would the guy that's got credit card fraud or the guy that is a multiple sex offender with about 5 bodies under him. I treat everybody the same. But if it comes up that you were a CO, I'm not going to show you any favoritism, and nobody else is either. In fact, I'm probably going to look at you a little bit more because I'm going to say that you were on my side and you probably know the rules and you know how to skirt them a little bit. So I'm going to be watching for you to do it. And when you do, I'm going to be there and you will get a DR. You will go to confinement, whatever I need to do. But I'm going to know that you know how to skirt rules and you know how to ride that line and cross it when you think I'm not looking. I've got no respect for people like that. But anyway, I digress. You beat some convict's ass for no reason, you're going to jail. At least you're going to lose your job. You take one out in the blind spot, and you get your ass whipped. Let's just say that. Because you were being stupid, convict whoops your ass. Yeah, I'm coming to get you. Yes, I will get you out. But if I find out exactly what happened, I'm going to look at you stupid because you kind of had that one coming. So if you think you're going to come in this to abuse people, to abuse inmates, bully them, don't. Please. I beg you on my hands and knees with tears in my eyes. I'm begging and pleading with you. Don't fill out that job application because you're the exact type of person that we don't need. You're the exact type of person that's going to get your fellow officers hurt for no reason. And it's unnecessary. There's no reason for you to get me into a use of force to get your dumb ass out simply because you want to play Billy Badass. I'm not saying fear inmates. I'm not saying it's something you got to be afraid of. I'm saying respect goes a long way. And I'm going to expect you as a professional in this business to have that type of respect for people. You think you just gonna come in here and whoop somebody's ass just because you had a bad day at home? I'd rather you call in. Bang in, please. Don't come in. Hey, Sarge, or hey, Cap. I'm sorry. I'm just not feeling well today. I'd rather you do that than to come in, do something stupid. You get arrested. You get me hurt. Inmates hurt for no reason. Because what is our job? Care, custody, and control, right? Where in care, custody, and control do you get beating somebody's ass for no reason? That's why people get a bad stigma about corrections, is people like that. And you have no place on the compound. I understand if you gotta stand up and take control of the situation. There's going to be days to where you may have to get harsh on one. I'm guilty of it. I'll get in one's ass in a minute. You violate my rules. Oh yeah, I'm going to let you know you violated the rules, and you're going to get whatever consequence I deem that you need within policy, be it a DR, be it if I take you to confinement, or maybe I have to use force on you. But it's going to be reasonable, necessary, and justified. You go in here and just slap somebody, you're going to jail. If you befriend an inmate and you tell that inmate to go slap another inmate, you're going to jail. You just gave an unlawful order. If that inmate slaps that inmate, he's going to say, hey, Sarge told me to slap him. There's a fine line between being a CO and being an inmate. What you want to be is a corrections professional. You want to be the guy that walks in, takes control of your housing unit, does your rounds, has an easy shift, and go home. Don't bring your personal life on the compound. Don't take your work life home. When you walk in, everything else comes off. If you come in here with personal bias, and I'm gonna go into the bias and prejudices in another video, probably my next one. But if you come in here with personal bias, you're out of uniform. If you're out of uniform, you don't need to be here. Y'all be safe.